Her name is like Lady Boba.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard,
I'm Talon Williams.
I'm Roger Sierra.
and we are joined by a lady who probably needs no introduction. You might know her from One Piece, maybe Black Clover. You might have seen her on Walker, Texas Ranger. We are joined by the great Pam Dougherty. Pam, how are you today?
Fine. I can't believe you said Walker, Texas Ranger. I still get residuals from them, like 81 cents. I mean, it costs them more to process and mail the stupid check than the check itself.
Oh my goodness. 81 cents? Wow.
That's like almost 30 years.
Hey,
Yeah. Yay to unions.
yeah. So, Pam, for those that don't know, who is Pam Dougherty?
Sorry. I have been a lifelong professional actress. I I kind of retired from the stage at this point, but I do film, television, anime, audiobooks. I've done several anime films, and most recently, two games. One is called, I can't remember the name of her name is like Lady Boba. And she's sort of a mystical thing. And then, but what's the name of it? Oh, Black Desert Online.
Ooh.
Black Desert Online. I'm not sure if it's been released yet. I really don't know. Land of the Morning Light. Yes, I know it has been released. And the other one that I did not too terribly long ago, well, Borderlands 3 was in that.
Yes. Yes.
That's been a couple of years. And there's one other one. Oh, it's a film that has also been released called The Lost on the Cape of the Hood. No, that's not right. It's a Japanese fantasy. It takes place actually right after the tsunami. That's the setting,
nice.
which makes it kind of an interesting. But it is an anime film. So,
Okay.
Cape of the Lost of the Hope, Cape of the Lost on the Cape. Never mind. It's on IMDb. Put it that way.
The House of the Lost on the Cape.
There you go. It's kind of. Have you seen? Oh, that wonderful. It's not Pixar. It's Disney. The House That Was Magic. Encanto.
Encanto, yes.
Yeah. The premise of this house is not unlike that. It's a house that does magic.
Okay.
So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. And a little old lady finds these two young girls, one a teenager and one 8 or 9 maybe, and their parents are gone, and she leads them to this house where magic happens. So it's cute.
Interesting.
Definitely gonna have to
Really
check
more
that
of
out.
a young adult film than it's not like, what do they call that? Service, fantasy service.
Yeah.
Fan service.
Yes,
Yeah.
fans. It's not like that at all.
Okay. So Chip asked the question, who are you? I'm going to ask the question, who were you? How did you begin this journey to becoming actress, voice actor, and things of that nature? Where did it all begin for you?
I'm going to say it was because I came from a musical performing family. My father was a big band leader in the 40s, and my mother was you say front man if it's a band, if it's a guy band, but you don't say front woman. So all I know is that I've got this really gorgeous picture of him leading the band and playing the cornet, and she's standing there with the mic, singing whatever. But it was all 40s and 50s, early 60s is when she finally retired from that. I started playing piano very, very early. I was determined that I was going to marry Van Cliburn until I got to be about 14 years old and figured he probably wasn't interested in me. Do you know who Van Cliburn is?
I've heard the name.
He was one of the most famous pianists. He's like the first, I think the very first American. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. Very first American to win the Chekhov is. I don't know if it's a Tchaikovsky competition, but as a non-American. I mean, an American as opposed to Russian or Japanese or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So from that early sense, I really was. I thought I was going to be a concert pianist. That was my idea. But somehow I got turned. I took the road less traveled, not even really knowing what was going to happen. But I think I was about a sophomore in high school when I started speech classes and drama classes, and then I majored in acting at both UT Austin and SMU. Went back for my master's degree in directing. This is all mid to late 70s, and then just kind of launched out there. I have to tell you, I am a real late bloomer. I mean, the older and fatter I get, the more work I get. It's like I don't even understand it. But if you looked at my IMDb page, you'd probably see like this really sparse stuff early on, and then things have gotten. I mean, I did like 5 projects during the pandemic, so yeah, all film. I did not know. Okay, I moved about 2 hours outside of Dallas. I got this idea in my head that I really wanted to semi-retire. I figured I was going to be doing audiobooks for the rest of my life. I had done 1 episode. I've been working for Funimation for a long time, off and on and off and on. I did not know when I moved that Big Mom was so popular, because I don't watch that much of it. And so I get out here, I'm two and a half hours away from the Crunchyroll building, and they all want us to be on site now. So, and plus mom's been killed off. Maybe. We know that she has fallen into a molten pit of fiery lava, and I think she has a giant iron, I can't remember what it was, something rammed through her. But I think Kaido did the same thing. I think he fell to his alleged death as well, but I'm not real sure.
All right. A little spoiler warning there for people who may not have seen that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Can you edit this out?
Oh, it's fine.
No, it's
Oh
fine.
no, it's fine.
I spoil things all the time, so it's fine.
Yeah, Roger does it all the time.
The thing is, you said UT Austin, and Chip's face just lit up because he's a he's a Longhorns fan. So,
Oh,
Go
cool.
Horns. Yes.
Did you go to UT?
I did not. I'm originally from Texas.
Where?
I was born in Galveston and lived in Beaumont until I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then moved. My father got a job offer, and I moved here to Chattanooga. And I've always loved Texas.
I'm a native Texan, born and raised, and as much as no, we were not going to talk about that. Never mind. Never mind.
Sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah, it does.
It does. But so what was the first project that you started in? Doesn't have to be anime related. So just that first project where you were like honing your chops as an actress.
Well, mostly on stage. And that is, interestingly, hold on, I was going to look for my phone and pull up my IMDb page. I thought that might help me, but I've lost my phone. Oh, there she is. It's, SIRI, you know who.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me just, because that may spark me. IMDb, me. Because I think the first TV I did was Walker. I was an extra a couple of times on Dallas. I mean, the original Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was horrible. I mean, when you're an extra on Dallas, you're just, here's your dry hot dog. for lunch. You know what I'm saying? It was
You-
not fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
She said, "Here's your dry hot dog." They didn't even give her a handshake.
I know, right? Bottle of water, nothing.
yeah, yeah. They just will not filmography. Okay. I'll have to go way, way back the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done, Walking Dead Survival Instinct. That was I think one of those repeated ones. Video game.
Mhm.
I'm looking at I'm trying to figure out what the first D Gray Man, that was 206, 208. Origin 206.
Yeah.
Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. Heard of that one? And you know, I was trying to find which one would be the first here on. Oh, Detective Conan was the very first.
Back in
Okay.
1996.
Yeah, that's about when I started.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were Adita Adams, who you had a 7-episode appearance in that series.
Was
It was
that
right
like
after. No, it was Detective Conan. That's what I'm looking at on your
oh
IMDb.
yeah.
It was right after you did Walker, Texas Ranger.
Right. Let's see, Rumbling Hearts, Burst Angel, Speed Grapher. That was the first and last time I got to sound like this because I was so sexy and young. I'm thinking about sending my next audition to Crunchyroll and just use a little voice and change my name and see if I can fool them into thinking that I'm not ancient. Basilisk, Trinity Blood, Suzuka, Origin, that was a movie. Mushishi. Oh, I see. I forget that I did so many episodes of X, Y, and Z. Um, uh, 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 D. Grayman, Blast Rider, Black Butler, um, Birdie the Mighty Decode. Some of these are just one-offs,
Yeah.
Summer Wars, I had a significant role. That was back in 2009. I played a 90-year-old grandmother who the whole family had gathered around to watch her die and have the world fall apart in the digital universe, and a bunch of kids, of course, solve it. And then I sort of did TV for a while. Tenchi Muyo. See, I had forgotten I'd done that many episodes. Dance in the Vampire Bun, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. I was Madam Christmas. Strike.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah, she's one of my very favorite kids. Cat Planet Cuties, Fairy Tale. I think I just had one episode. Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, Fractal, Future Diary, Dragon Age, Dawn of the Seeker. I played the chief shaman. I don't know what they are. They're the divine was my name. Walking Dead. Hal. Ping Pong, the animation. That was a fairly significant role. Sakura Quest, Blood Blockade, Battlefront. See, so it gets to me when you just do one off or two off of these, you forget it. And when I did my first episode of uh, uh, Big Mom, they said, "Well, she's going to be back," and I went, "Oh yeah, whatever." And then I spent the first 2.5 years of uh, the pandemic either going in and spending the night in Colleyville, which is where the office is, the studios are, or recording remotely. We did a lot of that back then. So is that
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
film.
absolutely.
My favorite thing that I've just done, I didn't just do it. It was released about 5 months ago. Was a movie called Suncoast, starring Laura Linney and Woody Allen and Nico Parker. If you know who she is, she's a. If you've watched This Is the Last of Us or The Last of Us,
Hmm.
she was in the very first episode. She was the daughter who got killed.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that is her, isn't it? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. Um, and I got about 4 scenes with Laura Linney, so that was big. That was huge for me to get to be a supporting actor, and because in the regions they just don't let you do very much. You just don't. You just don't.
Hmm.
All right. So you've done stage acting, you've done TV, you've done movies, you've done anime, audiobooks. Of those, which is your favorite to participate in?
Film, film,
Film?
and TV. It really is. Not only is the money fantastic, I, I've gotten old enough to be paranoid about remembering lines. And I just don't think, I never thought I would. I thought my kids were going to have to drag me off stage because my friends weren't going to tell me that I had no memory. But I, I, I just got to a point where I felt like whatever I was saying in an audience, people were loving me. I was acting my brains out. But in the back of my head was where WTH, no, yeah, where the hell is what the hell is my next line? That's always going on in the back of your head, or my head anyway. So and then I got out here and there were no union theaters, and so I started directing out here. However, since my cons career is evidently picking up, um, I need to get back closer to Dallas. So that's my next move. I'll still be out in the country, but much closer to Dallas.
You like the Dallas area, or is it just because it's closer to the airport?
That's exactly the reason. I was born and raised in Dallas. That's born and raised, and it's gotten so crazy. Cities in general
Mm.
have just, or at
Yeah.
least the big ones. People will tell. I mean, Fort Worth looks nothing like it looked 10 years ago. Same thing for Dallas, and people seem to be so angry on the streets. And I have evidence of this from other people who said it just feels like ever since the pandemic, everybody's just mad and they drive like crazy people. I seriously nearly got T-boned or sideswiped like 4 times on my way back out of Dallas just last weekend. I was
Oh
just down
wow.
one day. It's scary. I'll go this and not only that, you heard about all the floods and the power outages and this, that, and the other. And I drove through this massive flooded area thinking, oh, I'll go on side streets rather than the freeway because I'm afraid to drive in the really, really, I don't want to drive fast among a bunch of other people driving fast on a freeway in this rain because it was hurricane and ended up um, going through so much water it damaged my splash guard.
Hmm.
There's a piece underneath your engine that is called a splash guard. It keeps water from getting into the engine itself.
Hmm.
So yeah, had to have that
Yeah.
fixed. Cheap. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy audiobooks. You get to cast all the characters as yourself. You get to direct yourself. You get to play all of the characters. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't even have to wear clothes. So
There you go.
that's all I need.
You
So
have
yeah.
you had brought up the whole thing with the audiobooks and things of that nature, and we had talked to a couple of other voice actors about this. The advent of AI and the usage of AI in the entertainment.
that talk to a narrator, they'll get real angry about that.
But that's what I'm asking you. What is your initial response to industries and certain maybe certain studios wanting to use AI to further, their, and I've heard many people say, well, it's cost efficient and this, that, and the third, but I look at it like it's taking away the art from the artist and it's leaving people
Absolutely.
at work,
And I mean, I'm about to start a new series for a woman, and she said she had looked into AI because Audible is sending them all these links. Oh, try AI. And she went, no, I can't, I just can't do it. This is the author. Um, so that was nice to know that there are authors out there, but Audible is making it real easy. And there is a group called the National Association for Professional Narrators, a Association for Professional Narrators. I think it's called PANA, National Association of Professional. Never mind. It's an association, and they have gotten lawyers and created side writers that guarantee that the artist will not be used, and it's just absolutely forbidden on SAG-AFTRA, on any kind of film or TV. Absolutely. Audiobook is, I had a lot of friends who did not vote for the new SAG contract because they felt like the narrators were not protected sufficiently. So, I don't know what to say. I will only record when when I have something in writing that guarantees my voice won't be, recorded for prosperity, you know. So
I mean,
yeah, it's a problem. It's a real problem.
yeah, that
So
makes sense. We were speaking with, I can't remember who it was most recently. It might have been Bruce Carey, and he seems to think within the next 5 years, uh, most audiobooks and anime dubbing will be done by AI.
I find that hard to believe, but especially about anime, because it's so character driven. And I don't think you can get a computer to sound like ma 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 ma. I mean, it's just, it's not human. So
Yeah, it takes to me it takes the feel out
mhm,
of it.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Yep.
Because a computer can't make me feel emotion like an actual person's voice can.
right, right.
Yeah.
And you can, and sometimes some of them are getting really good. But if you listen to any article on, Washington Post or the New Yorker or the Times or, Dallas Morning News, you can tell it's AI.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not, there's just a quality about it. They don't necessarily pause at periods or at commas, and their inflection is just wrong.
Yeah.
So often.
Yeah, like if you're talking about like a very sensitive subject or something like breaking news, like I don't know, say like, a missile was launched today from North Korea. You can't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
somebody be like, today a missile was launched in North Korea. Like,
yeah,
why
yeah,
would that,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that, no. And it would literally, you would have to make it. And again, what Bruce Carey was talking about a couple of weeks ago, he said that voices are two-dimensional with the character being three-dimensional.
Yeah, yeah.
Voices you have to be able to speak in a tone of voice in a manner in which you can make the watcher believe in what you're doing, because that's
Hmm.
at the end of the day, that's what entertainment is. It's
Yeah.
escapism, to escape the reality, to get you to immerse yourself into this world.
Hmm.
Why would you want to immerse yourself into a world where there's no feeling whatsoever?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I haven't come on. I mean, I've certainly come across some narrators and some bad editing, um, where like the guy will complete a paragraph and launch immediately into the next paragraph, whereas you haven't settled it what just happened in your brain yet. It's too fast, and I'm amazed that there's work out there like that. or audiobooks. And uh, I think if I blew it and managed to get myself an AI book, I'd probably listen to it for 5 minutes and go, no, I can't, you know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. Um, so taking a step back, and we're going to talk about anime for a little bit. Your first your anime show was Detective Conan, or sometimes it's referred to as Case Closed.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah. I think on IMDb though it says Detective Conan.
it
I
Yeah.
didn't
does
realize it.
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Um, so how did you luck into that role?
Big Mom or just any anime
No,
role.
no, no, that particular role on Detective Conan, with that being your first.
Um, it's funny. I think about how I had to learn so much, and that the director of that particular piece gave me so. I mean, I felt like I was terrible because he was giving me so much direction, and I don't get much direction anymore because I've learned the tricks,
Hmm.
you know, and I imagine it was just because I'm a strong character actress. I mean, that's what I'm really best at. I can do leading ladies, but I'm not likely to. The other what's happening now is that the older women are just like in anything. You're just not, other. I mean, thank God for Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. They seem to have initiated the it's okay to be more than 60, in a film or an audiobook or whatever. Because I think since the advent of Frankie and Grace, we are seeing more stars. Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis. Um, we're just seeing more women of mature age and mature body um, on film and TV. But there are definitely fewer. Colleen Klinkenbeard told me this once. She said, once you hit a certain age, it's like the level of a roles just shoots down, and that's why I want to submit an audition um, with a child voice and not my name and see if I
Right.
can pull it off. If my agent would even do that, I don't know if she would do that, but anyway.
Yeah. I see here on your IMDb that you also do a podcast series called 1965. Oh, I'm sorry, 1865.
That is the weirdest thing.
Yeah. It says in April 15th, 1865, President Lincoln is dead and the country's in turmoil. Secretary of War Edwin Stanton takes control, determined to bring the assassination to justice, but the hunt for John Wilkes Booth isn't the that all that grips Stanton.
Well, I did, I think, 2 episodes of that. I don't know what it says, but I swear to God, I think I did like 2, maybe 3 episodes. And
It-
then they said, we've written her out. Yeah, you're not going to be doing any more of that. She's
yeah.
been written out. Unless maybe in those 1 or 2 sessions that I had, I did a whole bunch of, one sentence episodes or something. It's strange
Yeah. It's got you
because I
down
went,
to
oh,
16 episodes.
Jesus, I know I did not go to that studio 16 times, but there's somebody I can email and find out. Was I really in? I keep thinking maybe I did several episodes, whatever my word count is in any, because I've certainly done that with One Piece, gone in and managed to get 2 or 3 episodes done. So before I kicked off, but I'm convinced she's coming back, if not in flashbacks, some way. I don't
Right.
Yeah, of course. You always got to have hope for your character to come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So how do you feel? How do you enjoy playing uh Big Mom in One Piece?
I love her because she is so over the top. As a film and TV actor, and even as a stage actor, I just never get to be that big and that boisterous and that loud and that angry. And, it's all of those things that I get to be way over the top. I never got cast in Dragon Ball Z, and I'm glad now because it was evidently really hard on people's voices. Um, and after Dragon Ball, I think they sort of calmed. I mean, there's still some big, loud. Well, and I guess One Piece is one of them, but I just think they're more real now, somewhat more real as characters. But that's my strength, this character.
And which is your favorite character that you have voiced? It kind of gave you that opportunity to step outside of your shell.
Oh, definitely Big Mom.
Okay.
Definitely Big Mom. Absolutely. She's just so much fun. And what I like about her also is that, one of my prints that I sell at cons is of her going, "Hi, I'm happy. Look at me. I'm full. I've eaten. So now I'm a happy person." But I sell almost none of them because they want these pictures of her angry and her face is black and there's flames coming out of her head and stuff like that, but she does have, you never see it. I mean, every once in a while, like when she got stranded on, I've forgotten the name of the island. It wasn't Whole Cake, but it was in that arc. She got stranded on this island and she hit her head and she forgot to be mad. And she was like, "Oh, so sweet," for about 2 episodes. And then she got her memory back.
All right. What of all the characters that you have voiced, what is your most favorite line that you have said?
Uh, I I don't know, because I don't remember the lines very long after they've done them. I've done plenty of lines that I was, cracking up the engineers and the director, and that was fun. Um, but I honestly cannot remember if I have. I probably could, but right now my favorite line in the world that I own, that my best friend gave me, she said it out of the blue in a conversation. She said, "Pam, I had a Republican thought the other day and it about scared me half to death." Get it?
That's a good one.
That is a
Yeah,
good
it
one.
is a good one. And she's not an actress. She's not even a person who's particularly funny. But that came out of her mouth, and I went, "That's mine. I'm putting it somewhere. I don't know where." But I do love saying "mama, mama, mama," um, um, life or something. There's several. She has several good little speeches, but I can't remember a absolute favorite of all time to save my life.
You when you got into film and stuff, you had talked about how you came from a family where your
Mm-hmm.
father was a big band player, your mother, sang and things. As far as acting goes, who were some of your influences when it came to acting?
I will always say that at my fantasy celebrity dinner, Lily Tomlin will be the first one I invite.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she's just, of course, it's her partner's words that she's saying, but she's just wonderful. I had a director when I was just out of college, and I didn't really absorb this until in the last maybe 10 years. And that may be why I'm getting film and, more film and TV now. he was we were doing a show by Lanford Wilson, I think, and at one point he just stood at the back of the room and yelled at me to stop acting, stop acting, because there's something about when you put on a character, the difference between that and when you live in a character. That's what makes, and that's what's gotten me my most recent film roles. And my most recent TV show, unfortunately, was shut down in the middle of production due to the strikes and did not pick back up. But it was because I've learned to be super, super simple. Do you know what I'm saying? Not layering on a piece of something, you know, something that's outside yourself, but not really connected.
Yeah, it's almost like the old adage of KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what's getting me work. And my friends are going, oh no, Pam's working all the time. And I'm not really. I mean, nobody is right now. Everything seems to have slowed down recently, and I'm not sure why. Even the cons have slowed down because, as my con agent said, everybody's been on kind of a hiatus because the first thing they do, so I'm still very new to the cons world. In fact, this upcoming one will be the biggest one I've been to yet.
Okay. We'll talk about that.
I'm a little bit scared, but anyway, he said because they will always want to get their biggest celebrities booked first. You know, if they can get a Vic Mignogna, him, or Colleen, or somebody that has a real important name in anime, they want to get those people first.
And I can understand that. You know, you use the big,
makes sense.
Yeah, you use the big names to draw people in, and then you know, filter around with some supporting actors and actresses, and you know, but I don't know. So we attend cons all the time. We go, we take pictures of the cosplay, and you know, interview guests on site. We host a few panels while we're there and everything. But I almost prefer meeting the like
Supporting actors
supporting actors and actresses, as opposed to it's you can get a little more time to talk to them, because there's not many people in line most of the time. Like, you know, you got your diehards that are going to be there, and they come, you know, they know that you're Big Mom, um and they're diehards, and they're going to be there to get your autograph and talk to you. But for us to be able to do like interviews and stuff, it's almost better for us.
Yeah.
I can understand. Well, and I also think, I mean, I've been doing anime like you saw for 2000 1996 to 2004. How many? 4 plus 24, almost 30 years. And it wasn't until I mean, and leading roles too, but it wasn't until I got a Funko Pop, and that's when things finally started for me con wise. So, you know, everybody tells me the first year there's going to be like one con, and the next year there's going to be maybe 2 or 3. But once the con world gets to know you, I mean, people love Big Mom. They really love her, but I don't think people know yet. I don't think they know me as a part of that world yet.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, there were people like Chuck Huber was sitting next to, no, Chuck is.
We've had Chuck on the show.
Okay, so he was sitting next to me, and he just had lines and lines of people, you know, carrying their Funkos. But he also has a buttload of characters. You know,
Mhm.
and I've got a bunch, but not some of these people have 200-300 characters,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't have that yet. I'm hoping that getting back closer to Dallas will get me back in Crunchyroll's in the Crunchyroll system again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, of course. So speaking of cons, do you remember when your first con appearance was, and what con that was for?
yes, it was the Houston signing, and then I want to say it was in Waco. In Belton was the next one. Now, these Waco and Belton are only like, 50, 100 miles max apart, which is kind of surprising because they're, my understanding is that you're not supposed to do within X and 100 number of miles between cons, at least not in the same year. And these were, let's see, my first one was in December in Waco, and it was probably the Waco Con or something like that. The next one was Anime Sunika in Belton, Texas, which is about halfway between Waco and which way? Waco and Austin. I
Okay.
think I my geography right.
Yeah.
So
Um,
those were the first two, and so this is really I've done several store signings now, which are fun. And that's kind of why I'm trying hard to remember which one was store and which one was con. But this
right.
next one's gonna be the big scary one. I mean,
Well,
I'm not
what
really scared, but
right. Well, what do you have coming up then?
the Rhode Island Anime Con.
Okay.
That's this weekend, this coming weekend in
This
Rhode Island.
weekend. Awesome.
hmm
Yes.
June in Providence, yeah, Rhode Island. So I'll fly either on Thursday or Friday, and because I always go to Dallas first, park at my
Right.
son's, and then take an Uber to the airport, kind of a thing. Um, yeah. So I'll be gone from Thursday probably until Monday. Well, I fly back on Monday. But whether I stay another night in Dallas, just because I'll be exhausted after 10 hours and 8 hours on the show floor, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Also depends on. Somebody said something the last con I was at about. Oh yeah, the big guys, they take home suitcases full of cash. And I was like, yeah, that I like that idea. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, so yeah, for anybody who is in the Providence, Rhode Island area, go check out the Rhode Island Anime Con there, and go see Pam and get you a Funko Pop sign, buy you a print. Just stop by and say hi. Let
Hey,
her know
hi.
that you know who she is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all for that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
All that
And
advertising right there.
hey, we'll put the description in the we'll put the comments in the however we do it. We'll put the description in the below, but we'll put the address of this thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh
Hi,
yeah, yeah.
Daddy. Sorry, my daughter came in at the same time I was talking.
I was gonna let him keep going.
That's not in here, honey.
I
That's
was
not in
too.
there.
So
I'm sorry.
Pam, for anybody who
Yeah.
wanted to follow you, are you on social media?
I'm on Twitter and sorry, X. I just posted about it last night. Actually, am on Instagram. I posted about. I mean, I signed for this con in January, so it's been 6 months. Um, and I posted right away, and then I posted once again. And Insta, I'm due to sign to one more post, like in the next day or so before I go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll put links to those in the description below. So if
Thank
anybody
you.
Okay.
wants to go follow you on X or Instagram,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we'll be able to do
On
that.
X, I am the underscore real underscore big mom.
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess there's an @ sign in front of that. And then
Yeah.
on Insta, I am She Speaks Volumes,
Okay.
which is sort of a reference to both books and whatever else I can get. Oh, the other thing I don't get much commercial radio, but I get political radio.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are people I've recorded for that I don't think I should mention.
Well,
Oh
We'll
man.
just end up debating. We'll just end up debating. So, once, and in fact, I have already done a couple of attack ads this season. There's, oh yeah, yes, he's a true conservative. He's got true Christian conservative values. Vote for this guy, not that guy. I mean, it wouldn't be that animated, but it's kind of like that.
I think you get more votes if it was that animated, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it depends on what they want. Sometimes they really want some, like the one audition I just did, I didn't get, and I think I was too animated in both of them. But there's something about political; it needs to be really pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh shoot, it was something about political. Oh, one time there was one of the most famous attack voiceover actors did an NPR interview, and the man said, "Well, what if your political views do not reflect the candidate you're voicing for?" And he said, it's not a matter of what I believe or I feel. It's whoever can get to the studio the fastest. And that's really and now it's even better because we're all recording out of our homes still.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's great. That's crazy.
All right.
Yes.
And the awkward silence.
Well, no, I just can never think of something, that makes a nice segue. I'm not good at that. So that's just,
Oh no, you're
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
you can cut out the awkward silences.
I have that ability.
Yes.
But yeah, Pam, we just want to thank you for your time this evening. I was once told that the greatest thing a person can share is their time, so we greatly appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you. When will this air? Do you have a date yet?
This will air on June the 13th, Thursday, June 13th.
Thursday, June, and
Mhm.
would I go to moveradio.com or what?
I will
'Cause I know
personally
it's
send I will personally send you a link to the
cool.
interview.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then I will post it. It'll be on YouTube, Spotify. I'll post it on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yep.
You
Yeah.
can find it in all of those easy to find places.
Yes.
Rather, because I was confused. There was a radio station number, and I think an iHeart brand, and then there's
Mhm.
Move Radio brand, and somewhere in there I saw Vancouver, and I thought, oh, they're based in Vancouver, so this would be a good place to, that's why I asked about how soon it might,
Right.
I might record, because I thought, oh, it would be so great, because everybody from Vancouver will come down and,
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, again, Pam, we do want to thank you for joining us tonight. If you could just hang out with us for just one
Sure.
more moment while we pay some bills. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Chip, Roger, anything you guys want to say before we head out here this evening?
As always, please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, share, and subscribe on Spotify and right here on YouTube.
Your turn, Roger.
And as always, thank you guys for the great support. Without the great support, we would be able to do interviews like this. So without you guys, there is no us. So thank you guys so much for the support.
Absolutely. And if you want to continue to support Movement Radio, check out streamlabs.com/Movement Radio/merch and go get you some brand new merch. Again, Dragon Ball Z inspired, My Hero Academia inspired, the old school logo, the new school logo, maybe some new stuff on the way. Make sure you tune in for that. And also, once again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you guys so much. Pam, again, we appreciate it so much for you being here and taking time out of your life to join us on this day. And we definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'm Talon Williams.
I am Chip Hazard,
And I'm Roger Sierra.
and this is Movement Radio.